Couples who have moved in together, what surprised you most about living with a male/female? I thought if I ever moved in with a girl, I'd have to be way less of a slob. Turns out I'm the neat freak in this relationship. You and me both, dude. We've had fights over whether or not a Swiffer is as good as a vacuum. It's not. She refused to buy one, so I bit the bullet and got one on Prime Day, and our place is 100% cleaner. Edit. Not everyone has carpets, please chill. I got a great deal on a Roomba on Prime Day, but unfortunately a Roomba doesn't do anything about a pile of 2 weeks worth of clothing on the floor. Hey, it does something. It gets caught and then beeps loudly. How different our versions of clean are. The first thing every couple should do when they move in together is discuss what clean means to them. If you don't, you'll eventually have an exasperated fight where one partner feels like the other is not pulling their weight. That your partner may follow you around the house just because. Is your partner, perchance, a puppy? You know what's crazy? At the end of my comment I was literally gonna put, just like a puppy tbh. But yay, like they don't even try to hide that they're following you either. Husband can confirm. Sometimes I just want to be in the same room and will follow. Edit. To emphasize sometimes as apparently that word is getting glossed over. Can also confirm. Been with my girl for 10 years and still follow her anytime she leaves the room. I spend 3 days a week away from home, an evening on my alone time when the missus goes to bed. So during the day I normally follow her around the house as that's our time together. Please, stop following me. I'm not following you. Then what did you come in this room to do? I don't have to explain myself to you. You're not my supervisor. My girlfriend has a hard time being alone. When we are home, basically every waking minute she wants to be together. I love her with all my heart, but sometimes I just want to be alone doing my own thing for an hour or two. Watching sports, playing guitar, gaming, etc. But when I leave for another room I can hear the disappointment in her voice. I'm working on getting her to understand my need for occasional alone time. Sometimes I need what only you can provide, your absence. That's clever but feels semi-rude. I have never observed my wife put a bobby pin in her hair. I have found thousands of bobby pins in our house. I built a sunroom out of bobby pins and elastic hairbands. The new extra carport is coming along nicely. I once pulled Chewbacca out of the bathroom sink. Only once. It's a bi-weekly ritual in my house. And it's always my wife and daughters telling me that the drains are clogged and I need to do something about it. Oh look, none of my short hairs seem to be a part of these clogs. Why is it that I'm the one cleaning the drains? My vacuum beat a bar too. I need to cut all wigs out once or twice a month. How often I'd be helping her find her car keys. Eventually, I put up a hook that I was able to get her in the habit of using. Made me tear up a little at the time. But a couple weeks after we split I remember getting a text from her that said I miss being able to find my keys. That's kinda cute in its way, you woo. It was pretty heartbreaking at the time. I was having a hard time dealing with the breakup. I'm sure she was trying to just be cute and funny, but it honestly didn't help at the time. The hair, man. It gets everywhere. Seriously. I found her hair wrapped around my balls and had to untangle it. I was almost convinced she was putting it there when I was sleeping to duck with me. Everything has a decorative pillow on it. They are too small to be used for anything, and I'm not allowed to throw them on the floor or pile them all on one chair. The bed has a bunch and a long tube thing. I'm not allowed to whack her with the tube thing. Where did these come from? Why do we need them? If they are just in the way, can we put them in storage? No? Okay, babe, whatever you want. Seriously, what are we supposed to do with the tube thing? Hit people with it and wave it around like it's a giant dingus? I've got 2 moves, and both are big no-nos apparently. The lightsaber and the helicopter? His ability to be doing nothing. He can lay on the couch and stare at the ceiling and do nothing and think nothing, and he enjoys it. I would pull a muscle or pop something from the strain if I tried to do that. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Ira did so he can nothing in peace. Sitting in the passenger seat and just stare at the roads, not saying anything. Why are you so quiet? Are you upset? What's wrong? Sorry, I was in the middle of a heated argument with myself. I was trying to determine If using slices of French toast still count as a grilled cheese or a melt. Edit. As a thanks for the gold, y'all better post your French toast grilled cheese / melt. For me, how subtle the need for alone time crept up on me. I wasn't unhappy in the slightest, and moving in was natural. But over time I felt myself becoming irritable, and it turned out that I tend to get that way when I don't have time to myself, because I went from being alone in my room after work in my parents' house to being around myself pretty much every minute I'm not at work or driving. So I found myself with someone almost 24/7, and it took a toll. Thankfully once I recognized that, it was easier to manage. What do you do to manage it? I'm worried about this in future relationships without saying leave me alone. To be honest, once I figured it out I just explained it to my so. Thankfully he's very understanding. And to be honest I don't even get much more time alone than before, but just acknowledging it and how it affects my mood helped a lot. Having my partner understand that and offer to give me some space if I felt that way ended up making it so that I didn't feel that way as often. I imagine in an apartment that isn't just a studio, it's much easier to manage since there would be other rooms to have to yourself smiley face. Wait, healthy communication solved the problem? That makes it just like pretty much every relationship problem. She's good at playing Tetris and very organized. I was living with my parents since I traveled for work and only made it home 1 or 2 weekends a month. She moved in with me at my parents' house. We had one room to store stuff. My bedroom we bought things we'd need when we moved out, when we saw a deal too good to pass up, and she stored them. I realized she was good when we had to make 4 trips to get all our stuff out. 4 trips. This girl had boxes inside boxes inside boxes. She utilized every inch available in our room to stack items. We just bought a house and still have some boxes left to unpack. I will call her at work and say something like, hey, do you remember that blue paper clip I like to use? I can't find it. She will tell me which room, which box, what container, and what is beside it, just in case I still can't find it. She should compete in a Tetris tournament. Boom. Tetris for Jeff. I always knew women went through TP faster than men, but I never knew how much faster they did. It got to the point I'd just grab a pack of TP whenever I went to the store for any reason. We may not be out at home, but we will be soon, I reckoned, and I was never wrong about that. My mom and sister came to visit me a few weeks ago. They stayed for 3 days. 3 ducking days. Before they came I'd just cracked open a new pack of 4 rolls. It was gonna last me the month. They left me with nothing. After living with him for 4 years, I opened a drawer of his dresser, and it was empty. All of it. Apparently he thought it was my extra dresser. He doesn't use a dresser. Clothes get washed and put into a clean clothes hamper. He puts socks and underwear in his bedside table. Now I'm wondering what other furniture in our house is empty. I use a clean and dirty basket too. Would not discard the possibility of him knowing that it was his dresser and he just likes the basket system more. The underwear and socks thing is kinda weird though. The constant putting away of kitchen counter appliances. Me babe, where's the toaster and the coffee maker? Babe, in the cabinet below. Me why? Babe, because they don't need to be out on the counter. Edit. My first gold. Thank you, kind stranger. Or dishes you're still using. Where's my fork? In the dishwasher. I'm still eating. The true shock for me was the sheer amount of time my husband spends in the laboratory. Prior to the invention of smartphones, many of us kept a small library of bathroom reading material for just this reason. Edit. My pre-2008 preferred reading list. The Far Side. Calvin and Hobbes. The Economist. Edit #2. Based upon all the replies, I've come to the conclusion that somewhere in this world there is a chemical engineer who was inspired by reading the names of chemical compounds on the back of shampoo bottles while pooping. Edit #3. It appears that much of the world's premier innovators in energy, the environment, biomedicine, electronics, food production, and materials are inspired poopers. Learning that there's a wrong way to fold towels apparently.